Hello, I'm Rob Murphy, and welcome to Reiki and Healing with Rob. Today we're going to go through some timeline therapy to remove that old limiting negative emotion of guilt and anything else that comes up for you. So, when you're ready, taking a nice, comfortable position, sitting or laying. And once you're in that nice, comfortable position, I want you to think about where it is that you feel you store your past. Now, as you think about where you store your past, it may be behind you, to the side of you, inside of you, anywhere at all. Where do you feel that you store it? And just taking note of that. And then also thinking about where it is that you store your future. And it may be the same type of thing. In front, behind, to the side, inside, anywhere at all. Once you feel where you store your past and your future, I'd like you to reach in or out, grab hold of the past and move it an arm's length behind the back of your head. And then with the future, moving it half an arm's length in front of your face, so that when I ask you to, you can easily step into that later. And just notice how they feel in these positions. Do they feel more comfortable? If not, move them around a little bit until they do feel comfortable. And with the past there behind you and the future out there in front of you, you'll notice that this indicates a line. This is your timeline. Now, what I'd like you to do is to allow yourself to just float up high above that timeline. And the higher you float, the more you relax now. If you're having trouble with that, what's holding you back? What's holding you down onto the present moment? What's stopping you from being able to float up? You may need to pause this here and go work on that before coming back to this session. But if you can float up high, well done. And when you're ready, coming back down onto the present moment. Now, to release this old negative emotion of guilt, I want you to think about going back all the way back to the beginning of time for you. The very first instant of this old negative emotion of guilt. Then when you're ready, floating up high above your timeline and going back to and above that event. All the way back to that very first instance of guilt for you. And as you look down at that event, you may or may not see anything, and that is completely okay. But as you look down at that event, I just want you to realize and recognize what's going on for you. What's happening that's made you take on this old negative emotion of guilt? What else are you feeling? And just taking note of that. And so now, when you're ready, I want you to allow each and every single time that you've ever thought, felt, or experienced anything along the lines of that old negative emotion of guilt, and any of those other old negative emotions that you've discovered, I want you to allow them to pop up from that event and every event, each and every single time that you've ever thought, felt, or experienced anything along the lines of those old negative emotions, all the way back to now. Just pop up in a way that you can easily, when I ask you to, come back, reach down, pick them up, throw them to the side, eradicating them from your timeline completely. But before we do that, I want you to replace them with something. Replace them with something that means something positive to you. It might be a shape, a symbol, a colour. as long as it means something positive and empowering to you. And when you've got that thing, I want you to move all the way back to the now as quickly as you can, reach down, eradicating, throwing away each and every single time that you've ever thought, felt, or experienced anything along the lines of that old negative emotion of guilt and any of those other old negative emotions that have been holding you back, while preserving those learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. While putting in your positive image, replacing it with that positive image all the way back to now. And then, when you've got back to the now, coming back into the room you're in, into your body, and opening your eyes. And then closing again. Now, I just want you to float up from that present moment. I want you to turn to look towards the past. Noticing all those replacements, all those positive replacements that you've just placed in. These images, these positive images for you, they represent all the changes that you've just made. And you've made so many changes now that when you turn to look towards the future, you notice that it's actually realigning itself in accordance with those changes. But I just want you to notice how much more exciting, more inviting this new and amazing future is. When you're ready, I want you to allow yourself to take a step into that new and amazing future, that new and amazing now, and allow your unconscious mind to give you glimpses of what that might mean for you, what that holds for you. Notice what you see, what you hear, and what you feel. This is your new and amazing now. Just allow that energy to swell around you and through you, becoming part of each and every single cell in your entire being. This is who you are now. And then when you're ready, coming back down, back onto the present moment, coming back into your body and back into the room. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes and noticing how you feel. What happened to that old negative emotion of guilt? Can you feel it at all, or is it gone completely? If you can feel it, you may need to do this again, going through the whole sequence, being able to let go of that old negative emotion, or finding out what's holding it there. Was that the root cause, or do you need to go back even further? But thank you for joining me on this timeline therapy. I really hope that it's allowed you to let go of that old negative emotion of guilt that's been holding you back. I'm Robert Murphy, and I will see you in the next video.